Hello, hello. I believe that we are live on Facebook. I'm here with my colleague, Barbara. Would you like to pronounce your surname? Because apparently I always get it wrong. Your
Hello,
family.
Tracy. It's nice to
Hi.
chat with you again. I'm Barbara Lucka. That's
Ah,
how it's pronounced.
beautiful. Lutka.
Almost. Okay, we'll get
Almost,
there. We'll get
almost.
there.
I'll get there eventually. Things take time. So Barbara and I are here this morning. Well, it's this morning where I am. Who knows? It's coming up for lunchtime where Barbara is, and who knows what time you'll be watching this. But we're here right now to talk about forgiveness and what happens when we don't forgive. So I would really love to hear what comes to mind for you, Barb, to share on this topic, this juicy topic.
Yeah, it is a juicy topic indeed. And we are very often stuck with forgiveness, and we try to work out forgiveness and to define what it actually is to forgive. And I found during my not very long lifetime that forgiveness is what you create. You can't put forgiveness into a wheelbarrow. It's nothing that you can, it's nothing tangible. It's nothing you can touch with your fingers, but it's very much affecting our lives if there is some resentment inside, which is stuck, which doesn't go away. And we cannot move it. We cannot pass by. We cannot find a way how to solve it. So today with Tracy, we're going to look at the ways maybe how to differently perceive forgiveness so that we don't have to work so much at it and spend so much energy on forgiving the other. What do you think, Tracy?
I love what you've just shared there. I love that. Yeah, you can't pop forgiveness in a wheelbarrow and move it from place to place.
Yeah,
You can't buy it on Amazon.
no.
Yeah, so what I've seen about forgiveness is that, yeah, it can really look like very hard work. It can look like something that we're required to effort over and to spend a lot of time kind of concentrating on and thinking about and working out it with our intellect. And in truth, and it can look like forgiveness is very, very hard, very, very difficult.
Have you
And
forgiven? How does forgiveness feel for you?
how does it
Maybe
feel?
maybe to make it more specific.
Like for me, forgiveness feels fabulous. What you said about resentment rings true. And for me, the impact of resentment is exhaustion,
Hmm.
tiredness, closing your heart, not being available to the moment. And forgiveness is a change in perception.
Mm-hmm.
Forgiveness is when we drop out of judgment, because if we think there's something to forgive, we're judging what is. We're saying what you did wasn't okay. I'm judging your behavior as not okay. So once we drop out of judgment, all that's left is love. And forgiveness is a natural process. It's a natural process that occurs. It's not even a process, is it? It's a becoming. It's a, like you say, it's not tangible. It's a natural upwelling of dropping out of judgment.
It's a state for me.
Yeah, state of being, a state of
Mm.
consciousness.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more we are aware of it, the more we feel the the feelings that are not really nice, that are not supporting, going against our true nature, which is love, which is acceptance and affection. The more we need to fight, the more we have to look for balance
Mm.
instead of just turning inside and reconnecting to that balance harmony that is inside already. So what we tend to do is to go about and look for techniques, for advice, for the way how to do it, instead of using our own sources and resources and being able to dissolve from within any feeling of resentment, any feeling of unforgiveness. And once we do it in that space of love, affection, acceptance, it dissolves very quickly and very effectively.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. You know, when we get to really discern which voice to listen to, because we quite often have that voice of ego or critical parent or the mean, unkind, shouting voice in our mind that's saying, "You're doing it wrong." When we attune to the voice of wisdom, which is always there, like always available to us, it's just that we innocently get into habits of tuning into the voice that says, "Don't do that. You're doing it wrong." When we tune away from that voice and into the gentle, insistent whisperings of wisdom, we just can't get it wrong.
Yeah, that's true. And what's important for me also, that it sticks. It's not a thing that would be, okay, I understand it, I buy it for now, but and then it's gone. No, it stays with you because it's a new perspective that you're acquiring. There is a big shift, transformation. That's why we talk about being transformed, let's say in our work, in coaching, that is our goal, transformation. And when that happens from within and we see with different eyes, it changes the whole world. Even though it is the same, it looks the same. We say that nothing's changes, everything stays, but sorry, we say that nothing's changed, but everything's different.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the way how to process any resentment, any pain, any anger that you would have against the other, whoever it is. And for me, for instance, I deal with a lot of resentment and anger and pain in my coaching because people are being coached in their divorce situation when they're splitting up. Their emotions are at its peak, and it's very difficult for them on their own to navigate the process so that they are kind to themselves, kind to the other, and essentially they get out of it as healthy people, sane people.
Yes, healthy, sane people. Yes, please, and more of that. I had a memory just come to me just now of so I split up with my son's father. My son is incidentally called Sid. And I split up with his father when I was pregnant. And I was carrying a lot of resentment around that and anger and a sense of abandonment and rejection. And we used to, after Sid was born, we used to meet up so that Neil could have access and spend time with Sid. And we used to meet up in Oxford because that's where I lived at the time. And one day, as I was handing Sid over, I just saw Neil, his dad, with so much love and so much, like, I just saw his innocence. And I just had this real welling of love for him. And it wasn't like, now I have to like be with you. Now we have to be in a relationship. It was just like, oh. and it was it was instantaneous. It arose organically. It arose all on its own, that feeling. I wasn't efforting towards it. I wasn't thinking, oh, I must forgive and I must this. I mean, I guess I probably had been thinking that. but I hadn't been like pointing to my watch and going, well, when's it coming? Like it's
Mm.
late. My forgiveness feelings are late. I wasn't trying to rush them. It just naturally arose. It was a state of being that arose
Wow,
within, from within.
that's beautiful.
Another thing that I notice about how everything changes and also stays the same is like for me, everything becomes so much more beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm in awe. I'm in awe of nature and I'm in awe of the light and I'm also in awe of the darkness because what I see about the darkness is that seeds germinate in darkness. We
Mm-hmm.
all came from the womb and it's kind of dark in there.
Mm-hmm.
We all came from darkness. Darkness is nourishing, so we don't need to be afraid of it.
Mm.
And I know that when we're in those places of pain, anger, fear, resentment, which is totally normal, part of the human experience, it can look like we're never going to experience anything else.
Yeah.
And then when we pop out into love, beauty, forgiveness, joy, it looks like, well, what was all that? What was all that was going on before? What was all that about?
Yeah.
And we can kind of chuckle about the places where, when when we've experienced the storms inside, the internal stormy weather. We look back at it when it's calm, and we're like,
It stops making sense, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not important anymore.
it's not important. It's not attractive, is it?
Mm. Yeah.
But those habits of living in thought storms, like we can very innocently create an attachment to suffering.
Mm.
And we can also, like, I think you used the word dissolve. That attachment to suffering can be dissolved
Yeah.
when we look for a beautiful feeling.
Yeah. That is our natural state.
Mm.
And I love that analogy with darkness. The darkness is something to worry about or to be afraid of.
Mm.
It's part of our life. It's like day and night. They change. Um, the same happens with our lives. We're never 24 hours, 7 days a week happy. Um, our state of mind changes all the time, constantly. The only certain thing in life is change.
Mm.
And once we realize that, okay, this like there is a period I'm feeling down, I'm not really forgiving, let's say, but there will be a time when this passes, and feelings do pass because our thoughts pass, and these two are connected. And once that passes, I can look at my life from a different angle, with a new perspective. But if we get tempted, lured into the idea of this will never end, then we look for evidence everywhere. Like this person has hurt me and I'm never going to heal again. I'm never going to feel good again. And this keeps us stuck in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And if the universe is progressive, if our lives are progressive, what time is, and we keep stuck in one place, that is hurting.
Mm.
That's we feel it very heavily.
Mm-hmm. We begin to experience frozen tension in the body.
Yeah.
Like our shoulders hurt, our necks hurt, our
Like,
heads hurt. So
like,
much like emotional pain becomes physical when we become attached to it. Yeah, and that's something that I see in my work. I facilitate, support, and coach women back to vibrant health because vibrant health is our birthright.
mm,
Illness manifests, tension, frozen tension in the body manifests when we are attached to suffering and when we
mm,
believe in permanence, when we believe that this pain will always be here. And it's so natural to believe that as well, because it looks so real when we're in it.
Mm.
Oh, there was something that you just said that really sparked something in me, and it seems to have passed like thought, like emotion. It's passed me by. It's gone away. Oh, what did you say? You said something amazing.
You're the proof that thoughts pass.
Oh, yes. And
It's a
there
clear
was
example.
exactly, here it is. Here it is. In motion right now. What did you say? Confirmation bias. So
Mm.
we look for evidence of what we believe, and it is available everywhere. Like everywhere we look, we can find evidence to prop up our potentially faulty or incorrect beliefs.
Yeah.
And we create our own truth, and we see it everywhere. If we create a truth that men hurt me, that's what we'll create. If we create a truth that women aren't to be trusted, that's what will appear in our experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we create that men are amazing and women are wonderful, guess what? That's what gets reflected back.
Yeah. And you can move mountains.
Exactly.
Even if you end up in a relationship with someone who is not the perfect type, let's say, but you are so different, you are so accepting and comforting that the other person comes with you. They can come forth and get out of their own insecurities, because that's very often what's driving the person to behave badly, to have this nasty reactions, like their own insecurity. And if we are aware of that, it's not, as you said, like it's really innocent. It's not an intent that you would set up, like I'm going to be nasty. It's coming from a place of fear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When we live in fear, we feel a need to defend. And the organism, the human organism will move into fight and defense if it is afraid.
Mm. Yeah.
And we create that fear from the misunderstanding that we're not safe. And we can live from internalized safety regardless of the circumstances, regardless of what's going on around us.
Mm.
Our species is so resilient. There's so much evidence for our resilience that when we're feeling unsafe, we're in a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Because even if we do get wounded, wounds heal. Even if we die, we're safe. Like the ego, the scared part of us believes that death is the end and that we're not safe if we die. But really, in truth, when we die, we go back. In my experience, in like I'm saying, in truth a lot, in the truth that I've seen, when we pass away, actually, it's my dad's birthday today. He died about. I'm just looking at his photo on my desk.
Mm.
He passed away 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago, and my experience of that is that I have become much closer to my dad in death.
Mm.
I no longer see my projections onto my father. I see him as he really was. And I just, and the same with my mother, actually. She also has passed away. She's no longer here in form.
Mm.
But I see her brilliance, and I see, like, I still receive her guidance. I still receive the guidance from my dad. And I see both of my parents in their brilliance.
Mm.
And I didn't always see that when they were alive. I saw my projections rather than the reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We are
even
human after all.
exactly, we are indeed human. Yeah.
And another thing that I think it's important for forgiveness and for this chat that we are having is that once you are able to see your humanness, your personality that is coming from your ego and the vast space that you have around that personality, and you can move into the bigger picture, the bigger mind that is around you, the more accepting towards yourself you can be, the more you see your own innocence in this life, the more loving towards yourself you can be. And that is also reflected in the way how you can forgive. Not only the other, but also yourself. That's why we talk about forgiveness that we provide to ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's also a very important part of the whole process. So being accepting of yourself brings you a new set of skills, right? If we're talking about skills and techniques, but also brings you that power from inside.
Self-forgiveness brings us peace. And when we live in that, when we turn towards forgiving ourselves over and over again, we get to live from that place of that very calm and settled place of peace. Oh my goodness, I spent so many years looking for peace, wondering where it was.
Where did you find it?
Yeah, where did I find it? It wasn't under a rock.
No.
I found it when I grew trust in the divine, when I actually noticed that I am okay. That when I noticed that I am equipped to deal with every situation that turns up in life, I actually am equipped to deal with everything, and I don't need to plan and fret and worry. Not to say that I never do, but I can throw all of my worries onto the divine, because there is an intelligence far greater than me that is orchestrating life. Like there is an intelligence that orchestrates the stars in the sky, like the cosmos. We live in an expanding universe. We live in the middle of a mystery. And our little minds, like my tiny little mind, is not in charge of all that, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Like it's not up to me to make the world spin. So I can trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that brings peace and joy and gratitude and all sorts of good things.
Yeah. Follow the good feeling, right? As Sid Banks said.
Follow the good feeling and you will be delivered to vibrant health.
And conscious uncoupling too.
Exactly.
if you're getting uncoupled from your ex-significant other. So we would like to also invite you, if you feel you lack some kind of vibrant energy in your life and in your health, or if you're uncoupling from your partner, you can contact us. Is that true, Tracy?
That's true, definitely. If you're navigating the space of your relationship coming to an end or changing, like moving to a different sort of relationship, consciously uncoupling without bringing a bunch of baggage and pain and expensive divorce fees. So if that's the space that you're in, you don't want to create chaos and pain and hurt and damage, then go speak with Barbara, because she's amazing.
Thank you. And for you?
Yeah, and for me, if you're in a space where you're feeling exhausted, numb, in physical pain, I absolutely promise you that you can live from vibrant energy. The energy, we have constant access to energy, and we can live restfully. We don't have to effort and push boulders up hills and rush around like we're an octopus on roller skates. doing all of the things all of the time. It's not necessary. We don't have to do it. And if you're feeling overwhelmed with all of the doings and all of the things and all of the plates spinning, and if you're exhausted and in pain, and yeah, if you're in that place, come to me, because I can help you heal. I can support you to live from a much more peaceful and beautiful state of being.
Yeah. And your beautiful coaching and meditations that I've tried myself will guide you there, definitely.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate your feedback there on your experience. Thank you.
Yeah, it was very deep, and it stayed with me for a couple of days. Like I could bathe in that beautiful energy. So come and join Tracy or myself. We look forward to meeting you.
And I love to go deep, actually. It's one of my favorite things. You just mentioned the depth, and I know you do too. And yeah, just wanted to add that. I really love to go deep. So we will pop our details in the comments under this live, and look forward to hearing from you.
Yes, thank you very much for today's chat, Tracy. It's been great.
You're so welcome. Really enjoyed it. Lots of love.
You too. Bye-bye.